What's going on, guys? It's Goliath Raid here, and today I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm going to talk about how one of the most successful video game franchises in the world has become one of the most hated franchises and has lost almost all of its fan base within the space of 1 year. There's been plenty of reasons that this company has lost all of its money, or all of its fan base, sorry, in the past couple of years, but I'm just going to focus on one specific detail as to how they have lost so much money. So anyone who has played any video games will have heard of League of Legends or its parent company, Riot Games, and 2.81 billion is how much it has made as of 2024. I had to do a bit of Googling because I didn't know myself. So it's a fairly successful business, but over the past couple of years there's been many criticisms going on about it not listening to its fan base, its players, and many criticisms about it. But this year it has gone AWOL, and people have been criticizing it to the point where you cannot go onto the League of Legends Instagram page without being flooded with hate comments. And as someone that still plays but doesn't play as avidly as it did before, it's a bit disappointing to see the fall of grace from such a successful game. But what did cause such a successful video game franchise to lose most of its fan base within a couple of months? Well, it did all start when they introduced the Vanguard system, which is an anti-cheat software, which they used in their other game, Valorant. And it's actually quite a successful anti-cheat software, but that's not the main reason that it's losing all of its fan base. We'll talk about that later on. But the main reason is recently, over the past couple of years, Riot Games has become very money hungry, despite, as it says here, 2.8 billion as of 2024. But they have also been incredibly money hungry, as I just said, introducing new what's in-game skins. If you know about this, then don't worry about it. This is kind of just informative for people who haven't heard about it. But skins are basically in-game features that just change the way a character's look is. So there could be multiple different skins for different what they call champions. Recently they've been doing chromas, which just change the colors of them, but these chromas, quote unquote, really are no different to the original skin, and to buy them you have to get at least spend 200 real life dollars to have enough in-game currency to get these skins. But that's not the worst of it. The main reason I am talking about at the moment as to how they have lost so much money is due to their beginning of the year. They had announced that they are going to be doing what is called a League of Legends esports. What was it? Hall of Legends. That's what it was called. Sorry, and it's an annual thing. Every year they will introduce a new player, a popular player, into their esports Hall of Legends, and commemorate the player by giving each player a skin or some sort of feature to the game. So this is going to be happening every year, and they have announced the first person this year a while ago, a couple months ago actually, but I'm just going to talk about it now because they have. I'm not going to bore you about the specifics. If you know, you know. But if you don't know, then there's no real point bothering because I'm not going to geek you out or anything. They've announced the first Hall of Legends inductee, and to honor him, they will be giving him skins for his iconic characters or champions. And these skins are called Immortalized Legends skin line. And at first it was very hype because the skins recently for this game have not been very good. But when the skins came out, it was very successful, and a lot of people were looking forward to buying it. Until they realized that the price tag is definitely not worth it. And I'll just show you it, because I've got to open another tab here. So these are all of the collections you can get. These are all decent prices. But then when you go down, if you want the full thing, it's 59,260 riot points, the in-game currency, for all of this, when you could just buy this, which is way cheaper, and it's basically exactly the same thing, but with just less features. But if you want to, as it says, 59,260 riot points to get the whole feature, the whole quote-unquote experience, as they say. But people have noticed that to get 59,260 riot points, you need to spend almost $500 just to get to 59,000 riot points. With $500, you could pay off rent, you could go shopping, you could buy yourself a fucking gaming setup. It's ridiculous how money hungry this company has become based on how successful it is already. And right now I can literally just see fucking Mr. Krabs right behind the fucking development screen watching all of it with that fucking weird ass gif of him, just his eyes turning into the dollar signs, the tongue out, just saying money, money, money. And all they've really made is a laughing stock out of people that actually bother to buy this $59,260 skin bundle. And it gets even worse, as they announced that only 30% of the money gained is actually going to the player that is honored in this Hall of Legends, and 70% is going to the parent company itself. This is almost disgusting, and it's not even worth buying. As you can see, I've got the thing up here. It's 59,000 riot points. For 140, you can get 12,000 riot points. So you'd have to buy that 4 or 5 times to get close to the amount of money. Whereas here, the other ones, the cheapest, 5,000, you can get that for $50. Why would you spend so much fucking money on something that's really not worth it? It's just a in-game visual effect, and it's just lost so much of the fan base, and it's just taking the piss, to be honest. It's just turned the whole community against this once super successful company, and it's such a shame to see how hated this company has become. What else is there to touch on? Yeah, that's about it. I mean, why would you spend that $500 on something that is hardly worth, well, I wouldn't say hardly worth buying, but if only 30% of it actually goes to the player, then it's kind of ridiculous. On top of this, it happens once a year, so goodness knows how much next year's skin is going to be worth, if it's going to be worth that fucking much. A lot of people have kind of signed a petition saying they're just to ban the champion in every single game, so people can't use it. What else? I'm just trying to think of what else to touch on. This is also going to be a limited event thing, despite it actually being a full edition. It's limited time. It's only going to happen once a year, which means that people who play next year won't be able to get this feature, which, based on the price tag, they're probably better fucking off. But if it's immortal, if it's for one player, shouldn't it be every year? Because otherwise it's kind of a waste of time and a waste of money expense. Anyway, that's kind of about it. It's just a shame to see such a big company lose all of its fan base in less than a year. It's only fucking June, and people are already saying uninstalling. You can't play League of Legends because of this new Vanguard system. They're becoming money hungry. It's ridiculous. Yeah, that's about it. Thanks, guys.